Hello, it's week 10 of pregnancy. You are probably wondering what to expect, including changes with you and baby development. Now, if you took an early pregnancy test, it's already been 6 weeks since you've known about your pregnancy. Week 10 is the second week of the third month of pregnancy. And in this video, we're going to be talking about baby development, what symptoms and body changes you might be experiencing this week, and also how to manage these. Now, you might be having a 10-week pregnancy ultrasound, or you might have even had your first prenatal appointment this week. We're also going to talk about things to think about and do, and we're going to check in with our expecting crew. Welcome to the Birth Toolbox Classroom. I'm Alice, a doula and childbirth educator, going week by week through pregnancy with you. Sounds like it's time for class. What's happening with the baby's development this week? The baby is now called a fetus, and at this point is about the size of a strawberry, measuring approximately 1.2 to 1.6 inches or 30 to 40 millimeters in length. The fetus continues to grow and mature this week. Major organs like the heart, lungs, and liver are maturing and growing. The reproductive organs are differentiating into male and female and begin to develop external genitalia. Subtle movements continue and may be noticeable on a transvaginal ultrasound. The head is now more rounded and the umbilical cord is visible. What symptoms should you expect at 10 weeks pregnant? Well, as we talk about symptoms and body changes, the most important thing to note is there's a wide range of symptoms you can experience. You might be experiencing all the possible symptoms on my checklist or none, or somewhere in between, and that's totally okay. But if you ever have any concerns about a symptom or change with your body, don't hesitate to reach out to your care provider. That could be your general practitioner, your OBGYN, or your midwife. Now, the symptom checklist is very similar to week 9 and quite extensive. Common symptoms include fatigue, mood swings, heightened sense of taste and smell, nausea and vomiting, frequent urination, bloating and constipation, dizziness or lightheadedness, and an increase in vaginal discharge. Now, changes you might notice with your body this week, actually, you could notice that your clothes are starting to fit a little snugger. Now, you might need to put some of your pants aside that aren't working anymore, or possibly use the handy dandy rubber band trick. Just like everyone doesn't have the same symptoms, everyone doesn't experience the same body changes either. And if this isn't your first pregnancy, you might notice your body changing a lot quicker this time around. Drop me a comment, let me know what you're feeling this week. And it's time to check in with our expecting crew and see how they're doing in week 10.
I am 10 weeks pregnant this week, and I'm feeling mostly good. Nausea is mostly gone now, thankfully. I feel like a solid 5-6 days. I can maybe say that with some more confidence. Still getting pretty fatigued, especially in the evenings, so it's really hard to work out, which is frustrating, but I also have zero motivation to do that. And the sudden intense hunger is still very much there, so that's my main thing that I'm dealing with most of the time. This week I'm thinking about how to keep hiding my pregnancy. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that we have a family event coming up where I have the opportunity to start telling people, but I don't really want to tell everybody who's going to be there, and I also don't really want to detract from the family event that we're all going to be seeing each other for. So thinking about how to navigate, dinner out where people might be drinking or partaking in different activities that I can't necessarily participate in, which I normally would. I'm starting to show a little bit. So people like my mom and my siblings who know me pretty well might notice some of that. I did get to tell one of my sisters last week, and she said she had a suspicion because I was putting my hands on my belly and doing different things, I guess, that were completely subconscious, but tipped her off a little bit. So just, gotta be on my A game. I mean, ultimately, if it comes out, it's not that big a deal. These are all my family members who I love and who I know will be very supportive, but I think there's some context around the event and the timing and everything, and we won't have had an opportunity to tell anyone on my husband's side yet, so it's still something that, I kind of want to have a little control over.
I'm 10 weeks pregnant and I'm feeling great this week. I do have some symptoms that are pretty much the same as last week. I've been still pretty tired and still pretty picky about food. It's all in all a little bit better than last week. I think in terms of the food stuff, I just want blander food, crackers, and stuff that's not fatty. And I've really been wanting spicy food as well. I had my first appointment with the midwife yesterday, which was really cool because she's the midwife that delivered me, and she remembered me. So that was really neat to talk about that kind of stuff, and she knew my family history and everything already.
Last week, we added Choose a Provider to our Think side. And this week, after hearing from our expecting crew, I'm going to add birth location to Think About side. Now, one thing that really surprised me when I became a doula is learning about how 2 different hospitals in the same city can really provide such different birthing experiences. When I worked in Atlanta, there were these 2 hospitals that were about 8 miles apart. Giving birth in these 2 different facilities was so different. So it might feel early, but in the first trimester, it's a great time to be thinking about what your options are for your birthing location. And in many cases, you can do online tours. You can look up their statistics for C-section and other interventions. I'm going to put a video link down below to some guidance on how to do that. Okay, just one item for this week's Do Side, and it's a follow-up from week 7's Think Side, and that is exercise. How are your exercise plans going? Now, if you're just struggling to eat and get through the day, then put this off till you feel better. But if you're feeling better, then work on getting an exercise routine in place that you enjoy and that's sustainable. Now, I love walking because it's easy, but I'd love to hear what you're doing. Drop me a comment. Let me know. Thank you to our first trimester sponsor, 3 Lamaze. I am thrilled to announce our first trimester sponsor, 3 Lollies. Now, if you aren't familiar with the 3 Lollies brand, you might recognize their most popular product, Preggie Pop Drops. The first trimester is a great time to have these on hand. Now, I remember when I was pregnant for the first time, and I didn't know when that nausea was going to hit. And it's called morning sickness, but unfortunately, it's not something that you only experience in the morning. Now, Preggie Pop Drops are a natural solution to this challenge. The Preggie Pop Drops come in 4 yummy flavors. They're all natural, they're drug-free. There's sour raspberry, green apple, sour lemon, and sour tangerine. I love that you can grab a package of 21 for just $5 on Amazon. Now, this is an affordable way to be prepared for the symptoms that you might face in the first trimester. So with 21, that means you can have these close by when you feel that wave of nausea hit. I would probably put 7 of them in my purse, 7 in the car, and 7 at my desk. Now, this brand has staying power. At the time of this video, they have over 20,000 Amazon reviews. So thank you, 3 Lollies, for helping us in the first trimester, and thank you for supporting childbirth education right here on YouTube. If you're following along in our Healthy Pregnancy book, linked down below, homework for this week is to check out pages 18 and 19. This has some really good information on exercise during pregnancy. And I look forward to meeting you right back here for week number 11.